Dad! Dad! Dad!
What?
Come on, let's make a mini.
Yeah, we're going to do it.
The tread on the tyres just come off. Mini.
Right then, another mini video. So now we're on to some tasty stuff. So at the last track day, we're not mini, yeah. Boris has sent George to work again. So at the last track day we realised that we're really destroying this outer edge of tyre. Literally you can see we've been running right round to this sort of edge here. Killed all the tread on there, just on this front left really. So we're rolling over that far. We know we need a lot more camber. So we're going to stick the Clubsport Bilsteins on and get the camber that we need. Not sure how high we're going to set it yet. And if I get round to it, we'll stick the roll bars on as well. So we'll see how we get on. We'd like to, if there were more track days this year again, because we've 2 months worth that are cancelled already, we'd have liked to have done things in a bit different stages. But we'll be able to have a play with the rear anti-roll bar, maybe even take it completely off and then put it on and see when we're at track. So we'll see, and we'll go from there. I was recording that time as well. Workshop. Ah! So the George has gone. We can get some proper work done now. So I managed to get all 4 corners done. Rear's pretty easy. Prying spring out's probably the hardest bit. Bit of technique there that I probably ain't got. Probably an hour to do both rears at most. And then if you're taking your time, at the most an hour each front maybe, something like that. So as you can see, this is on the lowest setting, which I don't think we're going to run it all the way down like this, but it sits pretty low, but it looks a lot worse than it is because now we've got serious arch to tyre problems. But if you look here, we've got the camber gauge on, and it's only got 0.4 degrees of camber, which after speaking to Matt at Suspension Secrets when he were at a track day, he just said, oh dear, he says just whack as much camber as you can on, probably 3 degrees or so. So I've not checked it yet what it'll do, so let's all learn together and see how much camber we can actually get. So as you can see with these, we've seen them before, they've got nice camber adjustable top mounts, pretty much the same as what the Golf's got, and I know we rounded all these bolts off on Golf, so we might need to change what that is, change what bolts they are, probably do primer, yeah, literally I'll just whack it all in, which this is going to affect the toe, all the way over. And that's only, and that's 2.8, so it's probably not enough. So we'll see. I think what we'll have to do with that is see how much it affects it when we pull the toe back. So as you can see now, if you look at the wheel from the top, it's turning this way loads, even though the wheels are still straight. So I'll nip them up there. And the rear, we've got a bit of camber on that as well. We'll measure that and see. And one thing I've not mentioned, the anti-roll bars are still here, because I'm pretty sure it were a subframe off job to do the rear, and it looks horrible to do the front, so we'll probably do that later on. We'll do the alignment and stuff and see how we get on with that first, and then decide if we need to do anything more aggressive. So anyway, rear, let's see. Yeah, so we've got a bit more on the rear, but I do want more than that. I'm probably going to take that to maybe 3 degrees or so, even if it's just to take that away from there, because as you can see, the arches have been scrubbing. Even at standard ride height, they've been rubbing. So we'll poke them, push them in a little bit, maybe grind a little bit of that plastic away, and we should be all right there. No real right or wrong way to do this, but the next job really, so the 0.4 on this side, which it's not 100% scientific, but I know I wanted a lot, so it didn't really matter. And if you weren't a savage, you'd have probably used something soft for doing that, rather than bringing your new 3 grand shocks with a hammer. But yeah, 2.7 on this side, so it is a little bit less, but there might be a bit of, might be leaning a little bit in here, but it's not a big deal. Except we'll get up 4-poster. So that's a pretty straightforward bit. The next thing I need to do now is get it on the corner weight scales and just double check, probably with 2 people in, because this car's done more driving with 2 people in than 1. We'll get the corner weights sort of in a nice happy medium, that if there's 2 people in, it's pretty even, and if there's 1 person in, you've got a little bit more weight on this side, which is what you want for the clockwise track anyway, which we've talked about that in greater detail in other videos. So that's the next job. We'll do that, get the corner weights, then I'll decide whether I'm going to do the anti-roll bars or do the alignment and leave the anti-roll. I'm not sure. We'll see it. We'll see how we are for time. So we're pretty busy, and I think subframe offs is going to be a bit much for what I want to be doing. Everything takes me twice as long, so we'll see. You want to wear camera?
Yeah.
You've got to help me then.
What is it?
Take these off, look, twist them. Twist them and fold them. Go on, twist it. Go on, twist it all. That's it.
What's in there, Daddy?
Look and see.
What is it?
These are scales.
What for?
Weight car. So that says right, rear. So that's this one round here. Yeah, you take a picture of that when I jump in it, yeah? Wait until I've got in. Yeah, I'll tell you when. Take a picture then, George. Take a picture. Nick, come here. I want to see if you're actually 65 kilos, so get in this car. Are we alright?
How you doing?
Not too bad. You record, you're on camera, that's George.
How you doing, George?
Little
no,
terror.
Where's school? No school?
No.
No. Jump in driver's side, then I'm going to prove that you're not 65 kilos. Sweet, cheers. I'm just checking. You're like 90 kilos. 90. Oh wait, I tell a lie.
Go do it again.
Oh, you're 70. Yeah, you're 73. 73 and a half. It's about the same as me and Scott.
Except for a foot shorter.
Yeah. So, I need to get the fronts lifted up a fair bit, which is hard to see here. Because I'm too low. I'll lift that up till let's go like there. I've got same on the other side, maybe a little bit less. I'll have to tighten these up once we're done, but I'm changing wheels. It's not quite as much there, but from looking at what it was like before, I need to go up more on this rear corner. A bit harder to turn this one. The spring won't turn. I have to use the tool. It'll be easier with wheeler. Aha. These are the ones. This toolbox is an absolute joke. This is probably going to be a wheel-off job, which is annoying as hell. There's a cable in there. Oh, these are horrible. Whose idea were these coilover adjuster spanners? The worst thing in the world, aren't they? It's getting some big hammer. Oh my goodness, these are tight. Easy to get in it though now. I'll go up a little bit on this one. I'm going to check where we are and then I'm going to take wheels off because what a ball ache this is. We're just over 50 on there with somebody in it. One person in it, I think we're good. And then when two's in it, this should be pretty even. Let's see what we can do. We're also making sure we've got a bit better arch gap there. That should be nice, I think. Definitely need to sort toe out before we start looking at that. I think the arch gap's definitely better, and what we're also trying to achieve is the rear needs to be higher than the front, which I think we're not far off that. A little bit of worn out arch there from scrubbage. Yeah, we're already getting a fair bit higher on the rear now, so I think a little turn on this one, a little turn on that one, and a little turn on that front one. Hatchbacks are the worst to work on. Might be binding up a little bit there, I feel it. Release it. Put handbrake back on just lightly. Yeah, jump. Stiff that. Yeah, the rear settled down a lot when I've took that handbrake off. That's what's happened there. I think while I can, I'll go up a bit more on that corner. So you've definitely got to let the handbrake off on this and let it settle between adjustments because it's binding up quite a lot on rear. That should be enough now. So we've got like 21 kilos. Furthermore on this, I think probably get it to 30 and get it nearer to 30 kilos on that front, and then I think when there's two people in it, it'll even it out. Why Has it all of a sudden decided not to play ball? Let's see what it looks like, but it's falling off that one there. Getting nearer. Yeah, so it still needs lifting up some more on that rear, I think. The front's still not ridiculously high. We're getting to where the rear is probably going to end up at the same or lower than the front, and we don't want that. I think I'll go a bit more on that rear one. More blood. And that's got to be it then. Sweet. I think that's not bad. That's not bad. So we've got more than 50 on this one, there's just me. Dan, you jump in passenger side of this for me, please. I'll take a picture of this because I'll forget. Where are we going? Just going for a quick blart. Oh, that's sweet. That's exactly what I wanted.
That toggle switch?
Yeah, turn it on and off, yeah. Sweet. I think that's me done. I'll take a picture because I don't know if you'll be able to see it on this camera. Just 1 second, Dan, I do apologise. So there we are, 50% crossweight or thereabouts. The rears are a lot more even, a little bit more to this front, even with 2 people in, which is what we wanted. Yeah, I'm going to lock them off, change wheels, and we're good. So, painfully, managed to get the corner weight somewhat like. So, that's when there's nobody in it, as you can see because of the lights. It's worked out we're exactly equal on the front. Works out pretty much bang on where we need to be, because then when I got in it, we still had a fair bit more weight to that front corner, which is this one. Because this one's normally on the inside of most corners, so it's lifting up. So that should work out. And when Dan got in, which is like 86 kilos or whatever it worked out at, we still had a fair bit more, well, a little bit more weight on this side, which is good, because I want it pretty even when there's 2 of us in, and then it's not too mad when there's just one person trying to do a good lap time or have a bit of a battle with somebody, because it makes a big difference to how the car behaves when you've got a bit more weight on this side rather than it lifting up and wheel spinning. So ride height wise, it's not too low now. Got a little bit of an arch gap, get my fingers in, which is alright. The camber's as much as it'll go, so that is pretty much as far as it'll go in. You can see we've got a bit of toe in on this wheel, and this one I think it's turned a bit more, got a bit of toe in on that, so this will come out a bit at the front. So ride height's not too bad, because sometimes to get good corner weights you can end up with very odd ride heights. But looking at it overall, I don't know if you can see very good from there, I think the rear is probably a little bit lower than I'd want it to be. But we're going to have to see how sort of corner exit traction is in this. Because even though we've lifted that corner, the front right and the rear left corner, see me pointing, the rear left corner, even though we've lifted them up more on the coilover adjusters, which we'll look at in a second when I take the wheels off, it's not made as big a difference to the ride height as I'd expect. But that's because you're shifting the weight about, the car doesn't always sit level, you just notice it more when you lower it. So we'll whip the wheels off and we'll see where the difference is in the coilover adjuster. I'll get a roll or something like that, and we'll see what the difference in height is. I've got 10mm on that adjuster there. Nightmare this is. And then on this one that we wanted to be a bit higher, see, I've got nearer to 15. Fell on my eye there. And then this rear one should be lower. Yeah, as you can see, there's like knack all there. Not lifted that up much at all. And this one, 4 times as much, probably 8mm there, a couple of mil there. So I'm trying to get roaring. That's how sort of unevenly you have to lift it to try and get the corner weights correct. But some people have got a different school of thought on how much you have on that front corner. Some people say the same, some people say 50 kilos more. I think 30 or so when it's just me and it's not bad. So the next job, I think this might be the end of this video, not 100% sure. The next job's to get it over into the 4-poster and do the rear camber and the toe together, because you've got to do them together, and then adjust the front toe and then go for a drive and see if the settings that we've got the coilovers set to are fine. I'll not bother even figuring out where we are with the bump and rebound yet. We need to go out and drive it first, but a rough idea where we want to go. So thank you for watching. This has been painful.